5, 1.
This is Chair Joseph Alston. I'm just waiting for a couple of commissioners to be seated. I'm going to start the meeting. Now call the August 10th meeting of the One High Point Commission to order. Let's start out with a moment of silence. Thank you. I'll now ask our Vice Chair, Courtney Alston Wilson, to call the roll.
Chair Alston.
Present.
Commissioner Deeds.
Present.
Commissioner McMichael.
Present.
Commissioner McCauley.
Present.
Commissioner Patrick.
Present.
Commissioner Reynolds. Commissioner Riley Wright.
Present.
Commissioner Sims.
Present.
Commissioner Tolliver.
Present.
Commissioner Williamson.
Is present.
Councilman Holmes. Councilman Johnson.
We do have a quorum. I'd like to first start out by thanking each of you that have joined us this evening and those that will be listening to our broadcast remotely. Hear these words. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. The operative words being, we, the people of the United States. And also hear these words. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The operative words in this statement are that all men are created equal, and they are endowed by their Creator, not someone else's, their Creator. I have read to you the preambles of the two most powerful documents in this country, documents that govern who this country is and what this country represents. It has been said that the Declaration of Independence was the promise, and the Constitution was the fulfillment. They were developed to establish a government based on individual rights and the rule of law. Well, guess what? That didn't then, and in many cases, even today, doesn't include me and those that look like me. This has been a truly emotional journey for the past year and a half. In this time, we, the commission, our facilitators, and the city staff have experienced some very low lows, and some extremely high highs. Through it all, we were determined and committed to fulfilling our charge with the end game of making recommendations that can start the process of righting the wrongs leveled against people that played a vital role in building this community, city, state, and nation. My people. As emotional as this topic is, we as the commission agreed that the final document will be based solely on factual information and data. Information that many find hard to digest, understand, and/or comprehend, but facts nonetheless. As I've often said throughout this process, our efforts represent the first step of many as we advance in this important work. The recommendations developed to present to council will present the first step that the city is taking to address the restorative economic policies contained within. A city is only as great as the least of these. As long as we continue to have marginalized communities in our city, we will never be the great city that we can be. With the Commission's focus in uplifting the African Americans in this city by virtue of changes in policies across the board, all will benefit. I chose this city to live in because it contained my family's support system. However, I also recognized early that this city's potential. It has taken 40 years to get to a place where we can finally be heard and see change on the horizon. I would like to remind everyone here of the remaining timeline of events. Tonight, the One High Point Commission will vote on the final document. On August 15th, we will present the final document to the citizens of High Point in a citywide community information session held at the High Point Theater. This event will also include a panel discussion. All upcoming events and the events over the past year and a half are leading up to September 18th, a historic day, where we will present our recommendations to the High Point City Council. Once the City Council has these recommendations, there will be steps of feedback, dialogue, and staff implementation that is not necessarily included in the document or the process for moving forward right now. We had a very successful public comment meeting where members of the public spoke about the executive summary and preliminary recommendations that were shared on July 11th. I am about to ask for a motion to accept the report and send it to City Council. As is proper protocol, once the motion has been made and seconded, the floor will be open for discussion. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the report with recommendations contained within and send the report with the recommendations to City Council.
So moved.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded that the final report of the One High Point Commission that took a year and a half to develop with the hard work of many be sent to City Council. I now open the floor for discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to thank you for your comments regarding the arduous journey that we've been on, the necessary journey that we've been on, and I ultimately now believe the successful journey that we've undertaken. What we have done here in this city can possibly serve as a template for how our communities can be restored through policy, through the movement of government in response, in conjunction with private entities and nonprofits, 501c3s. We've put together a roadmap that, as I look forward to our 2045 comprehensive plan, I see this as an addendum to our plan to destabilize, reverse, and ultimately undo racially concentrated areas of poverty in the city. So I commend each and every commissioner, every citizen who has put forth their ideas and their support. This is a city effort to do something that is difficult even to imagine, but I can say here that we have done some work that is unimaginable to a lot. So thank you all for your patience and your support, and thank you all for your contribution. You should be very proud of yourselves.
And those comments were from Commissioner Councilman Michael Holmes. Anyone else? I'd like to say that in reading through the report, I think that it was very comprehensive. It was thorough. The information was excellent. I would like to state for the record that when working through the recommendations, that City Council is mindful of the purpose of this. And this is a commission on reparations for the African Americans in this community, where all will benefit with the changes that can take place. But having said that, one of the issues through the years is that African Americans, Africans who were enslaved, were not afforded the opportunity to develop generational wealth. And when we start looking at issuing RFPs and hiring those that will help change the face of this city, that we are mindful to contract with African American companies. You know, minority and women business enterprise, that's good. That's all well and good. But that, in many cases, leave us out. So we need to be mindful of that. And those are bridges that we will cross at a later point. So, any other comments?
Commissioner Patrick here, I would like to say, I agree with you. I'm proud of what we have done, praying that it's not in vain. Their hearts will be touched and moved, and mind will be open, and that we will be remembered that we too have the right. But there is one thing that to be treated equal. one thing that bothered me that we did not have we didn't speak to, and I know why we did not speak to, because it is not a city item. It is a state item. But I would like for the black men to know that it was on my heart to talk about the judicial system and the way they are treated in this city. They are arrested most of the time. They're not guilty. They are put in jail and assigned a public defender. And the 1, 2, 3, or 4 that I worked with, they was forgotten for 18 months. The public defender made no attempt to get the mother a leeway to visit the son. That is not our purpose to leave that out, but because it's handled by the state and not the city of High Point, that is the only way that I did not speak on that. That is the reason, and that's my only regret.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Commissioner Dietz, I'd like to make a comment. Again, I agree with the earlier comments that were made in reference to the amount of work and the comprehensive report that was developed. It is my hope that, we can't do it with the 8 or 12 people that are up here. We need to have everyone in the community put forth the effort, the desire, the hard work, because nothing comes without a lot of hard work and effort. And it's my hope that we will consistently see results because of the efforts of everyone in the community. Thank you.
This is Commissioner Riley Wright. And I'd like to say that we have put a lot of time into this particular document. And my hope is that this document is taken seriously by the city and the citizens of the city, and that it's followed through, and that someone is placed in place to make sure that those recommendations are followed through appropriately, because without that, it's just a document. And I would hate to think that we put this much energy into just a document to sit on a shelf so that the city can say that it marked off something on their checklist. So we have to make sure, I hope, that this document continues to live on through somebody following through to make sure that it lives on and is processed appropriately. So, and I also hope this is an opportunity that the citizens of High Point and other communities around us realize that reparations is not a bad word. It's not a bad word. It's not a hidden conversation. It's not something we should shy away from. It's not something we have to be ashamed of. And we can talk about it. And we have the right to require, respect, expect other people to respect us at the same level that we should be respected as equal to all people. So I don't think that at any time should we be apologetic, should we be ashamed or afraid to talk about what we deserve. Thank you.
Are there any other comments?
This is Commissioner Alston Wilson, Vice Chair. Just want to really give a shout out to our brothers and sisters in Alabama that stuck together, and it shows how we can come together through adversity. We can all get on the same page and fight for our justice. So hopefully we in High Point as citizens, taxpayers of High Point City, will be able to get on the same page as brothers and sisters and come together and fight for our change. Because this is a restorative policy, not necessarily a reparations, but it's a restorative policy that we can all be a part of and can see the change come together. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, the motion has been properly moved and second. Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. 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 All opposed likewise. The ayes have it. We now I'd like, as I do all the time, because, like I said, you're only as strong as those that keep you propped up. And I'd like to thank the commissioners for your dedication and hard work. I'd like to thank the facilitators, WPR, because without your wise counsel, I wouldn't have made it. And y'all need to understand that. I'd like to thank Ms. Leah Henry for stepping in as our project manager. And with all the work that we've done and just pulling it together, and from my end, it seems seamless. That may not be how you saw it, but thank you for all the work you've done. The city staff, yeah, you were my right hand and left hand. You stayed the course, and will be recognized for that. High Point NAACP. If it were not for your vision and your persistence, we wouldn't be here today. Reverend Dr. Brad Lilly. Dr. Elma Hairston, for your leadership. Councilman Holmes and Johnson, this is an important year. Some things are going to take place in the next couple of months. And you put yourselves out there to support your community and the community. Tonight's a bittersweet night for me. I stand on the backs of my grandfather who raised me, a black man in America living in rural North Carolina, who I have never, ever, ever heard a white person call him Mr. Person. Never. Bankers, car dealers, anybody, business people, never. But he taught me how to be a black man in America, how to weather the storm, and how to be successful. I don't know how successful I am, but, he taught me what I think well. But also my father. He came back into my life at a point where I really needed him. And yesterday he passed. But that's okay. He's in a better place. And his legacy is going to live on. He was 93 years old. I hope I make it. Those members of the Black Leadership Roundtable, which many of you may not have ever heard of, but it was a powerful group that I became a part of when I first moved to High Point. And we stuck ourselves out there. And that was part of this 40-year journey that we have, that we've actually been a part of. And with the Leadership Roundtable and the first African-American mayor of the city of High Point, a powerful city council person, and one that everybody seeks her counsel, I'd like to recognize Ms. Bernita Sims. Trust, she weathered the storm.
She did.
She did, and we'll leave it at that. So it seems as though I'm prolonging this meeting. And, you know, it's kind of hard to stand up and know that a year and a half has passed, and we have actually done it. We have actually. All right, one other person I want to thank, because this was the person that I would get phone calls and texts from day, night, day. But she was always right, and she was always on point. Ms. Doris Patrick.
And I, in turn, would like to give a great big old thank you to Bernita Sims, Pastor Brad Lilly. He done talked me out of it so many times, both of them. You know, I get cold feet and I back up. And Goodman is not here, but he was right in there. Just, you can't stop. And sometimes when God gives you an assignment, he don't always tell you everything to do or how to do it. Who's going to be involved? All I could tell him was, hey, look, God, I'm just like Moses. Remember him? I can't talk to the public. I don't have all the skills that's needed to do this. But you know what? When God gives you something to do, he has already chose the people that's going to help you, qualified you to do. I have learned a whole lot from y'all. Qualified you to do, giving you the boldness, and y'all know I'm probably one of the boldest persons that you all know. And I've learned a lot, got a lot of wisdom. Met two fine, good-looking men that helped us, and I appreciate that. Have to give them tribute. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir,
Go right ahead.
in the time that I've been here, there's been one steady presence who's led this commission through a lot of rough waters, a lot of turbulent winds. I've watched him navigate things with local government, with this city council. I've watched him navigate things in a community. And I would be remiss if we did not also honor the chair of the commission, the leader of the commission, yourself. So, Mr. Joseph Alston.
Right here.
I just want to say just one quick thing about you all as a group and the work that you've done. You came to realize what I had hoped you would when we met a year and a half ago, and you all realize that no one of you is as good as all of you. Just that simple.
That's right.
Just that simple.
You know, we haven't gotten a lot of the press that, you know, we may felt like we should have. And that's okay. That's okay. You know, we're doing this for the city of High Point. We're not doing this for anyone else. But hopefully, folks can look back at our efforts as we did California and Asheville and other places, Evanston, Illinois, and can utilize some of the information that we gathered to assist their efforts. And this is a living, breathing effort that will live on for a number of years to come. All right, our next event is going to be on Tuesday, August 15th, at the High Point Theater. I hope that everyone will go on the city's, it's on the city's website, right? Go on this. It's Tuesday, yeah, Tuesday the 15th. And go on the website and register so that we'll have a pre-count for that evening. And unfortunately, I will not be able to be there because that is the day of my father's homegoing celebration. But trust me, I will be nowhere else but in city council chambers on September 18th.
Before you adjourn, this is Kiva Jones, City of High Point. We just wanted to let you all know, commissioners, that you all can keep your nameplates. It's a commemorative gift from the city, so please take those with you and frame them, do what you want with them. Thank you.
Oh, and thank you. You know, I recognize city staff, but I wanted to especially shout out Jerron Hollis. He was right there in the trenches.
I did all your typing.
Yeah, well, and where's Miss Denise? She was, you know, everybody needs that right hand, and she's it. She's it for all of us.
Yes.
You know, all of us. You know, our city manager. See, you know, when you start naming people, you know, but you know, our city manager stuck with us through this, whether we recognized it or not. I know, because I've been in constant communication with her. She supported this effort from the beginning, and still supports this effort. So before I get in any trouble, and she's not here right now, but I gotta recognize my wife. Y'all think I do all this, and I've done all this. Well, actually, I just get the credit for it. She's been the person that has driven my train for a long time. And if it were not for her, I would not be able to do the things that I do.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I'd like to recognize my wife, Vicki Walker Alston, who's a lifetime resident of High Point. And one of the real reasons why we made the decision to live here, she loves her city. She loves her city. So there we were here and we raised our kids. All right.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Mr.
Yeah,
Chair, this
go right
is, this is Jerron, and everybody that's been working with me knows I would rather be no other place than there. COVID had me down, so I'm protecting you all by staying where I am here. But I just wanted to, I'm having some technical difficulties, so I hope my audio isn't lagging. We, as staff, we really had a great opportunity to help this group and to help move forward a very important initiative. We were entrusted to try to steer that process, and it's our hope that there are things that we did in totality over this last year and a half that help you learn some things about yourselves and about us as we move forward with this initiative. To go with what Sister Jones, Kiva Jones said, actually those nameplates were gifts. Those are gifts from a private donor. So don't take those for granted that we put them out. Please keep them. They have your names on them to forever mark the time and the work that you did here. But those are actually from a private donor. So we have had those out there for you, and take that as a small token from them to you. Thank you so much, and God bless you all.
Thank you.
in an effort to thank my vice chair, who we agree on a lot of things, and we bump heads on it. But that's what makes this commission great, is that all of the elements that each person brought to the table. And this is my lifelong friend and cousin. You know, so she can jack me up a lot anytime she gets ready, and she knows it, so. All right, so in honor of my vice chair, will you entertain the motion to close?
Call a motion for this one High Point One Commission to come to an end, come to a close.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Caroline,